how did you guys learn adding integers in 6th grade?
I remember the word.
Like -3 plus 2.
Oh yeah.
The bigger number you add it, but then like the bigger number you put like negative. If it's negative, like if the bigger number is negative.
Okay, I get it. Number line?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was.
I would did use the number line, but I just didn't use it because
I remember it was something with like a bigger number and then it was small.
That's what we're doing
They
today.
even wrote a song for it.
yeah, same side.
Yeah,
I don't like that
remember
song.
from last year.
The rap song from this.
Alright, okay, cool. So in 6th grade, you probably learned the number line. So this is from 6th grade, which is cool. Let's say it is 5 plus -3, right? We're going to do 1 or 2 on the number line just to refresh the brain. Then we're doing something else. Some of you already know what to do, which is fantastic. So we're just reviewing. We're all in a different spot here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, so this has been on your math homework. So it's a review from 6th grade. So we start here, right? We start on 5. And then what do we do?
And then subtractive.
Yeah, why do we go back?
Negative.
So we go back because it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, right? And our answer is 2, right? Do you remember this from 6th grade? So we go backwards because it's a negative, right? So we go back 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Might want to tell yourself that you went backwards, okay? 3 hops. What if, from 6th grade, what if I start at -4 plus 5, right? So we're going to draw the number line from 6th grade. So we go -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, right? So the first number is where you start. Okay, so I'm going to start at -4. Right? Now, do I go to the back or forward? Why? Yeah, well, because the 5 is a positive. 5 is a positive, so we go forward. Okay, we go forward 5 spaces. So we start at -4. This is where we start. And then we go forward 5. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to circle my answer. So my answer is +1. Are we okay with this?
Yes.
Yeah? So this is totally 6th grade. And yeah. Are we okay? Alright, so now the way we do it in 7th grade. So in 7th grade, we're going to take away everything from you. Kind of like when you first ride a bike, you ride a bike with training wheels, right? And then eventually you take off the training wheels and they just push you, right? Right? It's fun. Or like swimming, when you learn how to swim, you know, you have your floaties on, and then they just throw you into the deep end and like, y'all survived.
My brother,
Yeah.
That's how I
I almost drowned. My brother.
All right.
My brother keeps grabbing me like.
So
I just learned to swim.
I am going to basically do the same thing here. This is like your training wheels. I'm going to show you with floaties, and then I'll take everything away. And you better swim. All right. All right. We are going to, what we're going to do is we're going to do what is called 0 pairs. We did that? All right, cool. Okay, we'll do it fast then. We'll do it fast.
They thought of that.
Good, so we'll do it fast. All right, so if I have -3 plus 4. So instead of doing the number line, we do the positive and negative tiles. Which, since you already did it, we won't spend too much time on it. We're not there yet. But yes. Yes. So here we have 3 negatives for my visual learners. and 4 positives. Right? So when you have a pair, it becomes a 0. So when you have a negative and a positive together, it's a 0 pair. So this is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. Whatever I have left over, that's my answer. 1 positive. So it's 1, 2, 3. We write that down. So 3 negatives and then 4 positives. So why are we not focusing? Then we circle our 0 pairs. And whatever we have is our final answer. So our final answer is positive 1. Okay, you remember doing this? So this is like training wheels, right? Training wheels. So if I have negative 2 plus negative 1. So for my visual learners, how many negatives do I have here?
3.
2. And then how many do I have here?
1.
Another negative, right? So we put on the same line. Can I circle anything?
No.
No, we can only circle a pair. So there's no pairs here. So what do I have left over? A negative 3. There's 3 negatives.
Yes,
Are we okay? So are we okay? Can I take away the training wheels? Now, listen. Could you still do the tiles in your head, on paper, wherever? Yes. If you feel comfortable doing this, like you need this, go ahead and use them. By all means, use them. If you're like Miss Amelie, I like to think of the number line. Use the number line. If it's in your head, you go, okay, I start here, I go forward, or I go backwards. No one is stopping you from using these training wheels, right? No one is stopping you from doing this in your head. Like, okay, I have this and that, and I circle, what do I have left over? That's fine by me. You know, we're okay. But what happens when I take off the training wheels and throw them away and give you a problem like this? I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Yes. Yeah. But let's think about this. Do I really want to draw negative 20 tiles? No. Positive? No. Could you do it in your head? Yeah, you can do the negative 20 and the positive 16. That's cool. So, how did you guys get negative 4? Yes.
I just imagine that the bigger number is the one that we're subtracting it by the smaller number. So, like, negative doesn't really make any sense, but it's like the bigger number if it was positive.
Do you see me twitching? Do you see me twitching? I should put the camera on me when 2 of you, Dylan and you, make me twitch. Just twitch.
Just subtract it.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with something else that you were saying. You and Dylan both said, and I was just like... Okay, David, what do you have to add?
So sometimes what I do is I just get the smallest number and I just add up until it gets the either uneven or the even number. So I go from 16 up to 20 and the numbers that I counted up from.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
I just count up 4 times. That's what gets 20, and so it's negative 4.
Okay. Juan?
Oh no, I'm like, never mind. I'm even not gonna talk anymore.
Oh, you don't want the teacher to twitch anymore? Like stay like permanently? Ariel?
I just did 20 minus 16.
And?
they kept
And then, and then I put the negative number in front of it.
Why?
Negative
I know why you do that. I know.
Wait, he didn't twitch.
I know.
That's good.
I know.
Twitches.
Yes?
I put 16 minus 20 because when you plug in a negative,
He's gonna come
subtract-
punch you.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But why is it negative?
Coach.
Why is it negative?
But it's the 16.
Good. Huh?
Oh, I know why.
That's better.
I know why.
That's better. Yes.
Because it keeps the sign of the number that has more. That has more.
Good. Good.
I got it.
I like the word more. I do not like the word bigger.
More bigger.
Because 2 of you said it out loud, and more of you thought it in your brain. Is this number bigger?
No, it's more.
No, it is smaller. So you cannot tell me you take the sign of the bigger number. Those are lies. They lied to you. They lied.
I don't remember what it said.
It's not bigger. It is smaller. It is way smaller than 16. So do not say bigger.
So I did good.
Well, you didn't say anything, which is good.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, if it didn't have the negative.
Oh, you did? Oh, I take that back. You did bad.
I didn't
So, but I do like the word more. It is negative because there are more negatives. That goes into, okay, stop. That goes into this. Like, what do you have more of? Oh, I have more positives, so my answer is positive. And all this is negative. So when you look at a problem like this, yes, you subtract. That is correct. You do subtract because the signs are different. But my question is, why is it negative? And when you tell me, oh, it's negative because this one's bigger, it's terrible. You're mathematically incorrect.
There's more negative.
There's more negatives. That's why it's negative. That, if you say that to a math teacher, shows them like, oh, he understands or she understands the difference between a negative and a positive, and that this is actually really small. All right, so this is -4. Okay. Whew, that was scary. That was scary.
I understand the big small. It's just that I just.
No, you gotta use the right vocabulary.
This is going on my
More. Before the teacher has like a fit.
Oh, I didn't even do the math. This is going on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's for forever. When you're in college, you can review this video and be like, I can't believe I told her bigger. Gosh, what was I thinking as a seventh
I
grader?
never said bigger though.
And then what if Owen becomes a math teacher and be like, all right, my students, don't be me in 7th grade. Don't say bigger. I almost made my teacher die on the spot. Terrible. All right. Are they the same or different? Different. So when they're different, what are you going to do? Subtract. 0 pairs. Subtract. So you subtract 8 and 5, and you get 3. Now, do you have more positives or do you have more negatives? More positives, so your answer is left as 3. We don't write a positive symbol or anything like that. We just know if there is no symbol, there it is. All right. Stop. All right. So let's write the rules. The rules for adding integers. All right, I'm going to go over the rules with you because I'm sensing you guys have done enough of the tiles and whatnot. My other periods, I don't think we'll get to the rule today, but we'll see. They might surprise me. Okay, number 1. If the signs are the same. So what do you do if the signs are the same?
You just add.
Yeah. You will add and what do I do with the sign?
Put it.
And
Keep the sign.
keep the sign. Okay? If the signs are the same, you will add and keep the sign. Okay? If the signs are the same, you will add and keep the sign. Does everybody understand what I mean by signs? If it's a positive or a negative, right? So, for example, if I have -5 plus -4, what kind of number is the first one? It's a negative. What kind of number is the second one? It's a negative. So they're both negative. The signs are both negative. So you're going to add and we keep the sign. So if it's negative, it stays negative and we add them. -5 plus a -4 is equal to a -9. Look, I'm going to be teaching you a lot of things in 7th grade. One of the most important things you will learn in 7th grade or reinforce because you learned it in 6th is add, subtract, multiply, and divide negative numbers. Okay? You're going to be using it a lot forever. Okay? It's kind of like multiplication. You learn that in what, like 3rd grade? And how much do you need to know multiplication in 7th grade? A lot. Like number 1 and number 2 on the do now, how to do with multiplying, how to find a common denominator. All right, are we okay? What if I give you negative 68 plus negative 14? Are the signs the same or different? The same. It's a negative. It's a negative. So what are you going to do when they're the same? You're going to add them.
I can remember me doing this longer.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it 82?
82. So is it just 82?
No,
Negative 82 because they're both negative. Are we okay with this? So this is rule number 1. Okay? You are going to be you're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing until you finish your math career. Let it be in college or in high school. All right. Now rule number 2. Rule number 2. What do I do if the signs are different? If the I'll make you have you assign you detention and have you write sentences. The number is not bigger. The number is not bigger. The number is not bigger. If the signs are different,
Oh, you should teach Miss Dana this song if you can, if you know it. So, because then they know it. We use the song.
does the song end then take the sign of the bigger number?
It tells you what you have to do.
It's the row, row, row your boat. Yeah.
Go ahead, do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you should teach it.
Then you'll be there.
Exactly. But it's not true. The lies. The lies. If the signs are different, you will subtract. And okay, if the signs are different, you will subtract and no. No. Ask yourself. No. What do you have more of?
Bigger numbers.
All right. You do have to understand that a negative number will always be smaller than any positive number. We joke around, but it's in reality, like when you guys were in elementary school, but you really didn't do it this way. Like if I have 1 and negative 10, we're doing the alligator thing in like elementary school. Which number is the alligator going to eat?
1,
The 1, right?
7, 8,
I remember
9.
that book called ST Math.
Mrs.
I hated
Right.
it.
She taught
So,
elementary.
yeah, the alligator eats the bigger number, right? So this is why you can't tell me negative 10 is bigger. Like, you got to get that really out of your system. I understand why teachers tell you, because it's easier for you to understand at a, younger ages. But now you're 7th grade. Now you should understand that this is smaller, this is bigger, and you got to ask yourself, what do you have more of? So, do you have more positives or do you have more negatives? That's the sign that you keep. All right, so if I have negative 72 plus 36, negative 72 plus 36, you subtract. So this is a negative number, this is a positive number, so you're going to subtract. And feel free to subtract on the side. 72 minus 36, and we borrow correctly. Okay. Then you go back to your problem and you go, do you have what do you have more of? Do you have more negatives or do you have more positives?
Negative.
More negative. So my answer is negative 36. And the reason it's negative is because you have more of them. You could picture yourself putting all of these tiles out and you're left with a bunch of negatives just there. Okay? They're actually like from Home Depot. They're used to install tile.
I know. Oh yeah, they have those in my grandma's house.
There you go.
On the door. But they're blue.
Okay. 12 plus negative 8. Positive or negative? So this is a positive, this is a negative. So if they're different, you're going to subtract, right? And we get 4. And then you ask yourself, do you have more positives or do you have more negatives? I have more positives, so my answer is positive. We okay?
Wait, did you forget to put the parentheses for the negative?
I usually don't. If I put parentheses here, they mean nothing but just to keep it nice and pretty. But I don't usually. Your worksheet might have it, but it doesn't mean anything. It'll mean something later when we do multiplication, but right now it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. So, let's do these two problems. Yes, Isaac. I need you not to complain about doing work and just do it.
Yeah, I see.
All right, do those two. Do those two quietly in your notebook. Copy them down.
Oh, damn.
Silence it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on vibration.
You don't need to tell us. You just do.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
If you know how to add integers, like if today's lesson was like pretty easy, good. It's a good skill to have mastered in 6th grade. If you're like, okay, let's focus, try our best, because this is something you're gonna need a lot to be really good at it. Just like multiplication. Let's go over these two answers. What do we get for number 1? 2.
Oh, yeah, right, 2.
And what do we get for number 2? Negative 24. Good. We okay? All right.
Oh, it's negative.
So you know what was after putting that number?
Oh, no, this one. Okay, here we go. These are really easy because they're small numbers. Tomorrow I'll give you the bigger numbers. So this one, if you want to do the tiles, you can totally do tiles with this one. This is a 6th grade worksheet, just to make sure we're on it. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to work on this, then we'll check some answers. Set timer for 5 minutes. Was off.
Can we go to ourselves, man?
All right, let's focus on the math. First problem is 19 plus negative 13. Make sure you're on that side. The holes are on the left side. So this worksheet is harder, is 7th grade because the numbers are a little bit bigger. Not as big as you'll have them tomorrow, but they're a little bit bigger. So this is, Dylan, a positive, and this is a negative. So if they're different, what are you going to do? Subtract. Now, I kind of like the fact that you can subtract on this side. All right? 19 minus 3 is 6. You go back, you check. Do you have more positives or do you have more negatives? More positives, so your answer is done. Okay? Number 3, This one's a negative, and this one's a negative. So if they're the same, what am I going to do? Add. Okay?
22.
And then you keep the sign. So it'd be negative 22. Feel free to, if you want to write, the positive negatives, as long as you feel comfortable doing it. Subtract if they're different, add if they're the same. Some kids do that. They'll write on the corner same. You're going to add. If they're different, you're going to
I'm already halfway done.
subtract. Go slow. We don't want you making mistakes. Go slow. Set timer for 5 minutes.